The arid expanse of southern Algeria became the stage for a brazen act of terrorism, sending shockwaves through the Algerian government and beyond. 8 heavily armed militants, purportedly members of the Islamic State in the Greater Sahara, infiltrated Algerian territory near the ancient city of Tamanrasset. This daring incursion, a stark reminder of the persistent threat posed by extremist groups in the Sahel region, culminated in the kidnapping of a Spanish tourist. The incident has left the Algerian authorities scrambling for answers and struggling to contain the potential fallout. The Algerian government, known for its tight grip on security matters, has maintained a conspicuous silence regarding the incident. This lack of official response has only fueled speculation and heightened anxieties. The silence is particularly jarring given Algeria's historical narrative as a bastion of stability in a volatile region. The government's inability or unwillingness to swiftly address the situation has raised questions about its competence and cast a long shadow over its claims of effectively combating terrorism. The incident has struck a nerve within the Algerian government, exposing the vulnerability of its borders and the reach of extremist networks. The apparent ease with which the militants crossed into Algerian territory is a cause for serious concern. It suggests potential weaknesses in intelligence gathering, border surveillance, and security protocols. This breach of security has undoubtedly embarrassed the Algerian authorities, who now face mounting pressure to demonstrate their ability to safeguard the nation's sovereignty and protect its citizens and visitors from the threat of terrorism. The kidnapping of the Spanish tourist has sent ripples of concern across international borders, threatening to damage Algeria's carefully cultivated image as a safe and stable destination. The incident has thrust the country into an unwelcome spotlight, raising questions about its ability to guarantee the safety and security of foreign visitors. This unwelcome publicity could have significant economic repercussions, particularly for Algeria's burgeoning tourism industry, which has long relied on the country's reputation for stability to attract visitors. Foreign governments, particularly those with citizens traveling or residing in Algeria, have been closely monitoring the situation. The lack of clarity surrounding the incident and the Algerian government's muted response have only amplified anxieties. There is a growing concern that this incident could lead several countries to issue travel advisories, urging their citizens to reconsider travel plans to Algeria. Such advisories, if implemented, could further isolate Algeria and damage its reputation within the international community, hindering its efforts to attract foreign investment and promote tourism. Beyond the immediate impact on tourism, the incident has the potential to strain Algeria's diplomatic relations. Spain in particular is likely to exert considerable pressure on the Algerian authorities to secure the safe release of their citizen. The incident could also complicate Algeria's relations with its neighbors in the Sahel region, particularly if the militants are found to have crossed into Algeria from neighboring countries. This incident underscores the interconnected nature of security challenges in the Sahel and the need for greater regional cooperation to effectively address the shared threat of terrorism. The audacity of the incursion has fueled speculation and innuendo, with whispers of possible complicity swirling around the incident. Some fingers are pointing towards the Tuareg separatists operating in northern Mali, a group with historical ties to Algeria. These Tuareg factions, seeking autonomy from the Malian government, have long enjoyed a degree of support from Algeria. However, their alleged role in facilitating the incursion has cast a dark cloud over this relationship, raising uncomfortable questions about the extent of their involvement and the potential for future collaboration between these groups. Adding fuel to the fire are allegations of corruption within the ranks of the Algerian border police. An ongoing investigation by Algerian intelligence services is probing the possibility that some border officials may be complicit in the illegal movement of individuals and goods across the country's porous borders. These allegations, if proven true, would represent a significant breach of trust and expose a troubling vulnerability within Algeria's security apparatus. The investigation highlights the corrosive effects of corruption on national security and the need for robust measures to root out such practices and hold those responsible accountable. The possibility of collusion between extremist groups and elements within Algerian security forces, however unsettling, cannot be ignored. If proven, it would point to a deeply concerning erosion of trust and integrity within the Algerian state. Such a revelation would have far-reaching consequences, potentially undermining public confidence in the government's ability to provide security and jeopardizing international cooperation in the fight against terrorism. the Algerian authorities face the unenviable task of conducting a thorough and transparent investigation to uncover the truth, regardless of where it may lead. The recent kidnapping has dredged up painful memories for Algeria, evoking a dark chapter in its history when kidnappings for ransom were a terrifying reality. For nearly a decade, Algeria had managed to suppress this scourge, successfully deterring extremist groups from carrying out such brazen acts. This incident, however, shatters the illusion of security that Algeria had painstakingly constructed, reminding its citizens and the world that the threat of terrorism remains a clear and present danger. The resurgence of kidnappings targeting foreigners, if left unchecked, could have devastating consequences for Algeria. It could cripple the country's tourism industry, deter foreign investment, and further isolate Algeria on the international stage. The Algerian government faces the daunting challenge of restoring confidence in its ability to provide security, both for its citizens and for those visiting its shores. A swift and decisive response is essential, not only to address the immediate crisis, but also to send a clear message that Algeria will not tolerate such acts of terror. The incident serves as a stark reminder of the persistent threat posed by extremist groups operating in the Sahel region. The vast ungoverned spaces of the Sahara Desert provide fertile ground for these groups to flourish, offering them safe havens from which to plan and execute their attacks. Addressing this complex and multifaceted challenge requires a multi-pronged approach, encompassing not only robust security measures, but also efforts to counter the extremist ideology, promote economic development, and address the root causes of instability in the region.